music is just in the background about OnlyFans feed accounts, I guess is how we're opening episode number 10.
Are we recording?
We're live.
We're live. All right.
We're in because
No more OnlyFans.
because we've made
10,
we made
11.
people wait too long to enter the show. We're gonna
Cheers,
start
guys.
doing more of this. Like
There we
once
go.
before,
Cheers.
once we're in.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
All right, and we're off.
So here we go. It's episode number 10,
The 11th recording.
which is the 11th recording.
All right.
Nice, well stated. I like that. And it's snowing here today,
Snowing.
which always adds to the complexities of living in the mountains.
It's a wet snow. It's a dry heat. It's a wet snow.
Heavy wet snow,
The snow is very
Super cold.
snowy.
which means like we're 6 weeks away from off season.
Mhm.
Heavy wet snow is what that means.
In my opinion, I think we're pretty much at the end of snow in the valley. I think mountains are still going to continue to get snow, but I think we're about wrapping up winter as far as where people live and drive.
Hmm.
That's my prediction. But also, March is typically our biggest snow month.
True on the mountain, no.
Right on the mountain,
Yeah,
not in the valley.
That's why this episode is called Planes, Trains, Automobiles, and John Candy.
Love John Candy. R.I.P.
Because as we get late in the season, a lot of people come to the mountains for the best part of the powder season.
Spring break.
And also people start thinking about getting the F out of here
Totally.
for off season. We are coming in spring break. This is spring break.
Spring break
weekend.
is. We're. I think this is the start this weekend.
It's a bonus.
Is it a bonus?
Almost.
I mean,
Is it a
you make.
bonus?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about the bonus voice in the studio because, as you guys know, we try to bring you the best curated guests aligned with the topic. Nobody better here to talk about planes, trains, and automobiles, and specifically John Candy.
Welcome, John Candy, to the fucking studio. Let's go. Back from the dead. We got
Come back, buddy.
him.
Sorry to let
Anyway, he couldn't make it, so we got Pavel.
I was having just some audio difficulties.
I'm back.
So our other guest is Pavel, who's back, a voice you'll recognize.
Yeah, it's hard to forget.
Second time
Yeah.
guest. Second time.
Second
guest.
or third?
Third, maybe.
I think
Were you on Winterizing for the Win? I
No.
think.
No.
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 On Veterans Day, I don't count it because like I wasn't here like physically anymore.
We were here physically. We were here mentally. We were
Mentally somewhere.
we were here in.
But
body.
second time
I'm
guest, many time listener.
Right.
I think often a fan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not an only fan.
Not the only
And-
thing.
Good callback. But Pavel's like really well equipped to talk about.
Pavel or Pavel?
Pavel.
Pavel? So I've been saying it wrong.
Yeah.
Why don't you say something?
I couldn't care less about it.
All right.
It's like if I
Well, I
correct
got-
everybody
I
on
got some
the
other
street,
things
I'm
I wanna
gonna
call
lose
you
half
too.
of my life correcting people about something they don't know shit about. So,
So say your full name in the Bulgarian language.
it's Pavel Netkov.
Pavel Nedkov.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah,
Boom.
totally.
Yeah.
They don't have middle names in Bulgaria.
We do, but you guys don't want to know about this.
What is it? What is it?
It's Ivanov.
Oh,
So
what's
it's made from your dad's name.
oh,
Yeah.
what's your mother's
Oh,
maiden name?
Interesting.
There is
Don't
no such-
say that.
There is no such thing.
What's your mother's maiden name? What's your social security?
Yeah.
number?
Right.
Wait, do they have social security numbers in Bulgaria?
Why are you asking me?
It's similar.
Like a serial
It's a number that you get, and
Uh-huh.
it's only
For you.
up for you. Yeah.
What do they call it?
It's EGM.
EGN?
Yeah.
What's it mean?
Your identical number, basically.
Okay. Huh. There we go. We learned something new. Is that most European countries?
I don't know about any. I don't know about the other ones, to be honest with you.
I mean,
Germans definitely have something different. Like, so we
I
were.
feel like Germans have probably moved away from numbering people.
I really hope so.
They didn't have a whole lot of luck with that.
Yeah.
kind
They love numbers, though.
of a black eye for that country
Yeah.
for a little while.
You're talking to a friend like, where do you want to travel? It's like, I want to go to Spain for the food. I want to go to Germany for
Right.
the history.
For the history,
For the history.
the terrible,
Everybody
evil,
Like, what's
horrible.
no?
I mean, it's a beautiful country. I lived
Yeah.
there for a while.
Good beer.
You thought so?
Yeah, it's not the best beer.
I don't love their beer. The whole time I was there, I was like, I want a cold Coors, a cold Budweiser. Like I want a cold American beer, and it was all beer and Hefeweizen. I'm sure they had other shit. We just at the bars we were at. Also, I was on a big whiskey kick when I was there. So
Probably the Crystal Weizen will be the one that's matching the.
Oh, let me tell you about the
lagers.
Lonebrow house at Oktoberfest.
Mhm.
Oh,
Can't even imagine.
Lonebrow, oh,
Man,
somehow they kept like a 72-ounce Stein cold until my last drink.
I
don't know
never
how
got like a
that
cold beer
works.
there. Every beer that I drank there was like it wasn't warm, but it was like room temperature.
I think that's generally true.
Yeah.
Beer gardens in like Czech
Oh,
Republic or something.
it's hard to get cold beer on Oktoberfest as well. Because it's an
Also,
entire.
like,
Great, that's what I'm saying. We were in these like huge like draft. What do they call them? Like the houses,
The
but
tents?
so-
draft houses.
Yeah.
Tents, yeah,
the
the
tent,
tent.
yeah.
And it
Those
was.
things with poles and canvas, and they put them up, and
Yeah.
yeah, I got
I mean, okay, Kai.
it.
All right, we're gonna start this recording over.
No, we're
You
good. We're
totally
good.
derailed.
Well, how did you get to Germany?
Yeah, we're gonna like segue into that because there's all kinds of like travel drop offs that we
Sure.
could do. But that doesn't fit the agenda because I have to introduce you, co-host, as military travel, and this
Yes.
is like how you're qualified to talk on this topic.
Well, I mean, I've traveled military a fair amount. I've traveled on orders as a civilian, so I've flown civilian, but on military orders. Because they don't always fly somebody somewhere that enough people to where it warrants having their own plane, essentially. So you get military orders, and then you'll fly as you're in service, and sometimes you fly in uniform, sometimes you fly in civilian clothes. Typically,
Do you decide that or does somebody else? I've always wondered that, like if people go to the airport and their gear,
usually if you're
they
traveling,
want the free coffee or they want
the upgrade, sure.
No, I have the utmost respect. Mad love to
Again, it
also.
depends.
Really appreciate
Anybody in
that
uniform.
yeah. But kind of that, I kind of would, I probably would.
I think that most often when you see guys traveling in uniform, they
Yeah.
need to be traveling in uniform.
Okay,
They're working.
like when they hit the ground, they gotta go.
Usually, yes.
Yeah.
Would be my assumption. I don't know. Everybody's different. Everybody's got their own shit. But I think for the most part, when you see guys traveling in uniform, they're traveling with other uniformed people.
Yeah,
I was really good about leaving in uniform and then changing into civilian clothes immediately. I didn't like traveling in uniform if I didn't absolutely have to be.
we'll definitely talk about what to travel in and what to
Yeah.
wear as we get into it. So let's do this. Let's like by way of introduction, obviously Casey, co-host, and been doing a phenomenal job the last 10 episodes.
Of
by the way.
co-hosting?
Yeah, you've been doing.
Nobody's been better at co-hosting this than me and you, buddy.
I just want like I don't know if you've heard all the recordings, but Casey has been right there every episode. It's exciting. It's amazing. All right. So do you like to travel, have to travel, hate to travel?
I love traveling. I like traveling on my. I don't like flying. I don't love flying.
Yeah.
If I can, if
No,
I
wait, hold on, stop it. You're being with level.
Mhm.
Like part of this episode, part of this show is transparency
right,
and being real.
I
You
just
don't fly. Not that I don't like to fly.
I haven't flown recently.
Also won't fly.
Recently.
So- back it up 3 letters. What you said is different than what it don't and won't, all right?
I
Doesn't fly,
haven't
hasn't flown in a while,
had the need to fly in
won't
a while.
fly.
I will fly if I have to fly somewhere.
On what occasion, yeah, exactly, on what.
Let's fly to rifle.
Yeah.
Like,
And
Oh.
I would not fly. No,
If that makes no sense, that's not even a fair challenge.
Right.
Like, let's say we gotta go to Boston for
I'm driving.
4 days,
right.
and he's driving, so it's 2 days travel
So
there.
he's gonna leave
2
4
days
days
back.
before.
So yeah, exactly, so a 4-day trip becomes an 8-day trip.
Right?
Mhm.
Cause we got money like that, we're just throwing chicken nuggets out the window.
Yeah.
Go driving.
Vacation days to burn, bitches.
Well, when you work for yourself, you kind of do. No, so here's the thing. Things that I don't like about flying is number one, I don't like being told when and where I have to be somewhere.
Yeah, totally.
I don't like waiting in lines. I don't like being stuck in a tube with a bunch of people I don't know, who likely 90% of them are all assholes.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I'm 6'3", So I need room.
Fit.
I don't fucking fit.
Yeah, totally.
I like to smoke cigarettes, and they
Yeah.
frown on that these
They
days.
close the
Yeah,
gas.
thanks a lot, Bin Laden.
Yeah.
I'm knocking it off.
Crash into one tower, and all of a sudden, two towers.
Jesus.
Now, no smoking. Thanks a lot.
Meanwhile, one guy goes through with fucking bombs on his shoe.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
We're
well,
flying
that's-
illegals all over the
All right,
country.
we'll pause there. That's your introduction. We got to get the guest voice.
But hang on, I'd like to talk about trains real quick.
All right.
Because I've ridden the shit out of trains.
I knew I wrote the best title.
I've ridden trains from coast to coast.
Literally.
Literally.
You're white trash.
I love the train.
You are degenerate AF.
Hey, my dad.
Nobody should ride the train from coast to coast.
I love the train.
What if I would do?
I love the train.
It is the.
That's our first merch.
I love trains.
That's the first merch we're making.
Casey loves
I
trains.
love the train. I love the
Casey.
train.
The train.
I love the train.
My dad was an engineer on the railroad for a lot of years.
That's how it started.
And so, like, as a kid, no, like as a little boy, to go visit my dad, sometimes he would be working and he would be like at a train stop, and we would pull up, me, my mom, my sister, and we would go visit dad on the train.
So he's working and he traveled to wherever the tracks are made.
Yeah, so he
Yeah,
drove.
went from like Yellable to Flippin'.
No, dude, the train. Don't hate it. Have you ever ridden the train?
I have ridden the train, but not from coast to coast.
It's the best way to
It's
see
like
this
you
country.
you had vacation days to burn when you were a kid. That's like an 8-day travel from like
It's like
What are these dollies called?
four.
On the
oh,
train where-
pump jacks.
Yes.
Do you want those?
Yes. What's that movie?
Is there one random recreational car in the middle?
There's Casey pump jacking across the country. Hello, trains.
They don't let me on them, that's why I have to pump.
I love playing with trains. No, it's a great way to see the country. The train.
That is true.
It is.
That is true.
There's so
Also,
much.
the best way to smuggle drugs across the country because they do zero checks.
There are no fucks.
Nothing. You get on the train with whatever you want.
If it fits, it
Fireworks,
ships.
Firearm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like just don't be ridiculous when you're getting on the train. The guy's just gonna give you the nod. He's like, okay, by the
Although I've been,
Yeah, there you go.
yeah,
I have been-
my ticket.
Yeah.
I have been on the train when they walk drug dogs through. I have been on the train where
Well, you would never keep your drugs on you on the train.
I wouldn't.
No.
I never did.
No.
You buy them on spot or?
Historically.
Historically, but I mean, you can literally take like a bottle of booze and sit on the train
All right.
and drink the entire way.
Let me tell you, this is actually a thing that people do.
Mhm.
This is actually what trains were invented for, or why they still exist. I think,
Yeah.
Because I've taken the train from Glenwood Springs down to Denver.
Oh, beautiful.
It's a great way to see the country, as you said, and you get to see stuff that you don't see off I-70 or wouldn't see floating down
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Colorado.
Yeah.
And it is about a 6-hour way to go.
Booze cruise.
And they have, guess what? Apparently it's like maritime law. The drinking rules don't apply. They started serving booze at like
Oh yeah.
all night or like 24/7 in the drink cart. Actually, I think they started like 8. Anyway, I got on the train one time down in Denver, to your point about like you can just booze cruise. This guy had been on the train since Pittsburgh, which was the origination,
Sure.
or like Philadelphia.
Oh,
or
I'm
something.
guessing they
It was
probably
like,
have to scoop guys off of that.
he'd
thing.
been on the bucket. Oh, they scooped him off.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. He'd been on the train for like 3 days. I get on the train at 8 a.m. in Denver on like a Wednesday.
This guy's 2 days bender.
And I'm already like, I'm not on the train 5 minutes before
Right.
I can sense that there's a problem person,
Right.
you know, and I hear other people whispering and I'm starting to feel like a vibe. And all of a sudden, man presents himself and he is like,
On one.
not a problem. Like he's like
Sure.
itty bitty and like drunk and like
I will throw you off this train.
and picked up in Pittsburgh, you know what I
Right.
mean? So like, you know, and he's like 3 days deep.
Mhm.
But I'm like, bro, like that's a good effort to be drunk. This strongly
Sure,
drunk
on
at
this level.
8:30. Because people just woke up. Like
Right.
the overnight people just woke up. The new people are just getting on the train. And now you've already pissed off everybody in 30 minutes. Like the food cart hasn't even opened. You can't even like.
Right.
You just had a fresh start 30 minutes ago.
Well, I
Like,
think that-
it's not so fresh anymore.
I do think they closed the booze car, like the bar car.
Yeah,
I think they closed that at like midnight or 1.
yeah.
So this dude was
No, he was on his own.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he probably had some homemade.
Can I tell you a funny train story real quick?
Can you?
I can.
Mm.
So first of all, I've taken the train from Chicago to New Orleans once and back. That is a interesting train ride. You meet some really interesting people on that.
How long is that trip?
I don't know, 14 hours.
Wow.
Not even.
What is it? It's
10 hours.
it's like 1,000 F-150s.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many washing machines? How
That's
far
like
in Washington?
120,000 washing machines.
Yes.
From New Orleans.
It's an overnight trip.
Yeah. I mean,
It's an
so from Chicago to Carbondale, Southern Illinois was like a couple hours. And then I think continuing on to New Orleans was like another 7 or 8 hours.
About metric. We don't care about metric.
We don't do that.
Even the European doesn't.
Also, and that train is called the City of New Orleans, and it's the song that Willie Nelson sings and wrote. City of New Orleans, great song for country music.
It's not about washing machines.
It's not about washing machines or F-150. So anyway,
Shout out Willie.
Grandma and Grandpa one year, I would have been probably 14, 15, decided that they wanted to take a trip with the grandkids from Central Illinois to Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Okay.
So grandma, grandpa, I think my Aunt Amy, and then 2 of my cousins, myself and my sister.
Shout out Aunt Amy. She was awesome.
She still is. So they give you like those little tiny bullshit pillows on the Amtrak, and we're going, and it's nighttime, and the people sitting next to us. So I think they were, next to my grandma and my grandpa, thought that my grandpa had taken one of their pillows. You got to know my grandpa. He's like the nicest guy ever. He's like, oh no, I don't have one of your pillows, but if you want, you can use my pillow.
Is he a pillow taker?
He is kind of was known as a little bit of a pillow thief. No. So anyway,
He has a history.
so not only did he not take their pillow, but he offered them his pillow, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we don't want your pillow.
Yeah.
We want our pillow. And so my grandma's sitting next to him. She goes, well, ma'am, he didn't take your pillow. And you don't want his pillow. So this conversation's over.
Yeah.
And the lady like says something kind of quip to my grandma. And so my grandma takes her pillow and fucking hums it across the train at this lady.
Yes.
And you gotta know my grandma. She is the sweetest, nicest.
now.
Yeah.
I love
That is wildly out of character
Yeah,
for her.
okay.
And she's like, you want a pillow? Here's your freaking pillow. And everyone had been on the train for like 10, 12 hours at this point. So everyone's kind of like ready to get off the train.
Sure.
But there's grandma humming pillows across the train at lady. Just
Nice.
got grandpa's back 24/7. It was,
Playful lady.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Playful.
so yeah, watch your pillows on the Amtrak.
All right.
Moving right along.
Well, thanks for the preamble and setting the table, Casey. That is amazing. We have, like I said, second time guest, many time listener. We need to talk to Pavel about, do you like to travel, have to travel, want to travel? Actually, before you do a second, we always have a reason for the
Right.
having a
A
guest.
method to the madness.
We don't just like accidentally land people.
Oh, Pavel's not doing anything.
People
Yeah.
don't wander in here.
They do.
We have security. No,
Yeah.
We do.
uh,
No, we have security.
Goes Wayland.
it's both actually. Like we have security, but you can wander as
Mhm.
well.
Wandering security.
Yeah. Well, we talked about like the kind of bringing this back
Sure.
to was like
Let's get some background on Pavel. Is that
like
where
to
you're going?
travel, have to travel, had to travel.
Sure.
That's kind of where we went. So we got that from you. I think you travel generally. You talked a little bit about that. What's your country count before we get to Pavel? How many countries have you been to?
Ooh, you're gonna have to come back to me. I got some counting.
All right. What's your favorite country you've ever been to?
Iraq, of course.
First of all,
Someone camp or just distant.
two things. You're a legend for all that you did for us. It's Iraq.
I know it's Iraq.
True.
Okay.
It's Iraq because I racked it there.
I reckon we'll disagree.
All right.
But traveling groups, solo, we'll come back to this. Okay, cool. We're ready to go to Pavel. All right, second time guest, anytime listener, often-time fan. Casey's counting countries over
7.
there. You can't see this up. 7 countries?
Yeah.
That's you.
7?
Yeah, I know that's not a lot.
Have you been to Mexico ever? Was bag one.
No
We
one.
can get it. We can get you to 8. We can increase you by like 18%.
We'll drive there.
Does
the train go there?
While we're driving,
Yeah, I'll go where the train goes.
I go where the train goes, baby.
train goes to Texas, so you can go from there driving.
All right. Well,
Probably easier to get to the US from Mexico than it is from.
I'm super excited about
I've
this
been told
though, because I think you have the military perspective. Pavel actually worked in the travel industry.
he worked in the travel industry and also was military.
He
Yeah.
was good at it as well. Both of
I
them.
was the best stewardess
You know
ever.
how I know you're working in the military? Because you're alive.
Yeah.
That
There you go.
here. And the stories that I've heard about his travel agent, travel.
So you
What
were
is the term that you prefer actually? Like
Stewardess.
cabin boy?
Stewardess.
Yeah, it's just like, you know how they say like it's a nurse. Yeah, it's a nurse. So let's call it what it is. It's a stewardess.
Steward.
for the steward.
I was the most handsome stewardess ever.
Biggest dick out of all the stewardesses.
Yep. I think so. They didn't get any, so
In fact, they implemented pants.
And he
not
checked a lot of them.
because
Yeah.
there was just
He
descriptive.
checked almost all of them for
Mhm.
penises.
yeah, I did not have them.
Did not find any.
So you've worked for, can we say the airline?
You can if you want to.
Yeah.
I don't care about it. Nobody can do anything. to me.
Shout out Emirates. Maybe we're getting.
I
It's
work
the
with-
best long.
Work with
long
Emirates
haul-
Airlines for about
Probably
5
one of
years.
the nicer ones,
The
right?
best long haul first
Yep.
class that you could experience you can ever have.
So was Emirates the only airline you worked for?
Only airline.
Yeah.
But you've also done like plenty of personal adventures, like in many countries.
You have the opportunity to fly a lot.
Like
I've
side
flown-
trips, we used
Side
to call
trips, yeah,
them, when,
to
like,
fly
you're
a
in
lot.
somewhere for like 4 days, and you're like,
Yeah.
boom, I'm gonna bob out to this city or this.
Thing is, though,
country.
when you have like days off in a string, like let's say 5 days off after a long
Yeah.
trip, you can book anything you like because you pay only like 10% of the price of the ticket.
But only on Emirates.
Yeah.
Only on Emirates, but also like associated airlines give you great breaks as
So-
well.
Well, and also travel, like when you're in Europe, like if you just happen to be in like, say, I don't know, Morocco for
Mhm.
like a weekend,
Mhm.
like Spain's an hour away.
Yeah,
You can be in Madrid and Barcelona or Lisbon or like Munich as an example.
Also, like,
as it worked for.
as we flew into Orlando, which was 6 days layover for us, I flew into Phoenix, went over there for a bit because why spend all the time in Orlando?
Yeah.
I've been there already.
Yeah, right. Makes sense. So how many countries have you lived in?
Well,
Actually lived.
lived.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I say living constitutes like you were there for like 2 weeks or longer, I guess.
Well, counting Bulgaria, there's one. I was in Germany for about 4 months because I was
So that's more than 2 weeks, right? So that counts.
It's more.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more than 2 weeks. It's like I was in a foreign language high school. It's for first language German. So we had that exchange program with students from there. So they come to Bulgaria. We go to Germany. Exchange program as usual. And Germany, then well, I don't count Afghanistan as living over there, but like I've been there too.
Yeah, and you were there for
Well, 6 months.
extended period of
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
6 months each time.
That's living there.
Well,
Yeah.
stationed can also.
I mean, I know what's going on there. I can tell you that. But yeah,
Dirty.
lived in Dubai for 5 years. Was based over
Was
there.
Dubai was where you were on.
Dubai was based. All the flights go in and out from Dubai.
Got you.
They use it as a connection hub.
So it's
Yeah,
This is why you were serving Bulgarian military, or this was
no, when he was
No.
working for Emirates.
that's when I was working in Emirates. Yeah, Emirates flies to what,
Oh, yeah.
80 destinations or so.
That makes sense.
80 countries, among which they have about maybe 150 destinations in those 80 countries.
Are there 80 countries?
No, they're not 80
Kidding.
countries. There's more than that, but we fly to.
No,
80.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Obviously, there's more.
But I was thinking, I was like, that's only like, how many countries are there?
I don't know. That's
168, I think, is the number,
really.
Yeah, it could be.
which means Emirates is only getting to half.
I mean,
Yeah.
that makes sense. The other
I
half.
mean, with,
Well,
with
there
the
is-
reach, with their sponsorship and the reach of our podcast to the dozens
Right.
of listeners,
Mhm.
Emirates is going to blow up.
Right.
I feel like we should put this podcast and make everyone that flies on Emirates.
No, we'll stream it
Yeah.
free.
Oh.
We won't even ask for royalties.
No.
It's just free
Right.
for you on your flight
Absolutely.
from here to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
From here to Afghanistan. From
Yeah. I'll get you ready for it.
Good luck, buddy.
We also
Yeah,
cover
so-
international.
So from those 80 countries, probably from 80 countries, I've probably been to 71 or 2. I haven't been to all the destinations. But
All right. Well, that was the first question on the
Yeah.
list. Now, the second one. third one actually. All right.
So
How
how about
about
you?
to travel though?
Mhm.
Yeah, you were recently in Maui. May or may not have burned it
I
down.
was, yeah.
It was 100% Pavel had something to do with burning that fucking island.
I don't think it was me because, you know, if it was me, there would be nothing left.
I'm just saying, it's been there for a long time. You were there like 3 months and you burnt the whole fucking island down.
Like,
Well,
well,
wanted to figure the shit out.
And we should be laughing about this because it's still.
and I'm not working for BlackRock, so you know.
The Rock is not laughing about it. He's
No.
also not investing in it either. He's asking us
To invest in it. Well, fortunately, you can buy a lot of nice island property on the beach now.
Yeah.
Well,
Also, just call yourself.
Hard fail, United States. Hard fucking fail.
funny enough, Oprah is calling for everybody to throw money in it, and she has like
A ton
3
of
or
land
4
there.
billion or so.
Yeah, they could.
And she
literally
owns a ton of land there.
Single-handedly, either of them could.
Well, do better than what's been done.
Well, could unfuck the situation. Also, the situation that happened.
Is it still like $700 to people that lost
Are we
their
gonna
homes?
talk
Hey,
about like
it-
blue roofs and like laser and
If
stuff?
you-
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a different. Right.
I think we need.
I'm just saying.
I know, I just.
If you paint your roof blue, you're
I just
probably
been
gonna
following this
be.
thing, 'cause a similar situation just happened in Chile.
Well, also in Texas,
All
Come
right,
on.
for another episode.
Another
We're here to
episode.
talk about travel.
travel. Yep.
All right, what else do we want to know? What's your favorite country, Pavel?
Dude, I love Czech Republic.
Ooh,
Yeah,
where? Prague?
Prague is really good.
What part of Prague? Prague one?
Well, I love sticking with the central
Yeah.
part of it, whichever place that's close to the red line, because that red line connects you to pretty much everything.
Yeah.
With the metro.
Prague one's great, right
Yeah.
on the river.
Which is also a train. You're not making fun of him for his train riding.
Right?
Yeah. this-
Trains in this country are a little different.
Yeah, buddy.
For me, it's not only the train there. It's like, for me, it's the best beer on the planet.
Uh-huh.
Like, because
They have the brewery right on the river
Yeah.
in Prague.
'Cause you know that-
It's the original Budweiser recipe, they
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, Czechvar, right?
Czech bar.
Yeah.
for me, it's that Pilsner Urquell that they
I
do,
love that beer.
but it's the one that's the unfiltered. Because they cannot export that one because it goes bad in like under 7 days.
I like that.
And it's cheaper than water.
You know, Guinness does a similar thing in Ireland,
Yep.
in Dublin. They hold all beer for 2 weeks before they distribute it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it used to be that bars would pay a premium in the lease to be
Mhm.
closer to the brewery because they get the delivery first, so they'd have the freshest Guinness.
I've had beer in Ireland, and I gotta say, Guinness in Ireland is a little better.
It's different.
It's a little.
Kinda
Is it
different.
better? I think it's better.
It's way
It's.
better.
It's.
Have
I
you
think
done-
it's better.
have you done that tour?
It's
of
only
the
2
factory?
weeks.
I haven't.
I've done that one. That's a heavy tour.
What, the Guinness tour?
Yeah, well,
Have you done the Guinness and the Jameson tour in the same day?
not in the same day because it's
Oh.
kind of impossible.
And then you go do a Bailey's tour. And
Oh yeah.
it's,
Come see me.
I've done them in 2 days.
Yeah.
First day beer, second day.
we can do the Guinness Jameson tour tonight,
Right.
in the country.
True.
All right, so
Hey, but just to add on it,
uh,
it's not only the beer. It's beautiful women too. Great architecture, great history, and they have great food as well.
the view from the top of the boat
Czech-
at the end of the
yeah.
Guinness tour. Oh,
Czech Republic.
oh, we're talking about something. else.
Mhm.
Yeah, cool.
You're still talking about Blue Roofs.
Because I don't want to come off as just an alcoholic. I want to come off as a creep too. Because there is women too.
Beautiful ladies.
You're not fixed a woman across a bridge. It's a beautiful bridge.
After 5 beers, you don't care about beer anymore. I can tell you that.
You start trying to purchase women.
Yes,
How much for the women?
Lord, you can't.
for the amount in beers.
All right. For the record, that's not what happened in Prague.
You've been, you haven't
What
purchased,
happens in Prague stays in
just
Prague.
because you haven't purchased a woman in Prague
That's
doesn't mean.
also, that's fair. That's,
I've convinced one to follow me for 2 beers. How about that?
all
Hmm.
right. Okay, was that,
That's barter.
second time?
That wasn't purchase, that was trade.
Yes.
It's-
I was very convinced.
So Czech is your favorite country.
So now it's on you.
Yeah. All right,
All right.
here we are, co-host.
You can't have 2 co-hosts. Someone has to be the host.
You're the host.
Co-host.
All right. Well, you have glasses in the computer, so I feel like you're the host.
Shot glasses.
No.
Cocktail.
Cocktail glasses.
Hold the glasses.
All right, so I think my lend to this conversation is that
Because you've lived abroad,
I
right?
traveled a ton,
Yeah.
lived abroad, traveled a ton around the States. This is an interesting question for both of you.
Hmm.
I was trying to write down notes on like how many states I haven't been to. This is 50 United States.
Yep.
I think I got 40 of them covered.
I've never been to Alaska. And
Hawaii?
I've never
North
been to
Dakota,
Hawaii.
South Dakota.
Yeah, been to the Dakotas.
All right.
I think it's like Alaska and Hawaii, only two states I have not been to.
You been to Maine?
Yep.
What were we doing in Maine?
Oh, the guy's
I was
driving
in
man.
Massachusetts.
When you drive, you have to drive through.
What were you doing in Mississippi?
Mississippi stuff.
Sounds sketchy.
Also, you gotta understand that most of the military is in like the southeast.
We already know how you got to Louisiana. The train.
The train.
The guy's driving and he's using trains. Of course, he's been to all the states.
Because I have to go through
And
all
he
the
hasn't
states to
been to-
get to
He hasn't
anything.
been to Alaska. He hasn't been to Hawaii. The two most remote places.
The two places you don't have to
Go
go
you ever
through.
been to Pittsburgh?
Yep.
Just kidding. It's not a state, but.
Right. But Pennsylvania. Yep.
Anyway, all right. So I think I have 40 states. I think I have 30.
Oh, so now who's more well traveled?
There you go.
You can't see this, but I'm making gestures.
Never been to Hawaii, and you know what? You'll never get there because
Yes, I will.
you'll have to take a plane.
I take a boat.
But they don't have ferries.
They do. I got a fucking Zodiac.
That's like 28 hours.
Jump in the Zodi. Jump in the Zodi team.
I don't think you could carry enough fuel in the
I
Zodiac
think so.
to
To
get-
get you there.
I don't think you could. We'd have to get a mid-ocean resupply.
It's 5 hours flight from LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the Zodiac?
To the Zodiac in Hawaii.
All right, so I'll get in the Zodiac and you fly, and halfway there, drop some gas out of the door.
Yes, it is.
All right, so I've lived in 10 different countries,
Mhm.
traveled to 35 different countries,
Ooh, that's big.
and been in 40 different states.
Whatever. I mean, you want to come over there and
No, we're just like,
yeah. No, that's, I know you're just looking at me like I'm
people
the
punk you and you said you were intro. Welcome to the episode.
no, because mine was lame and yours was way
Well, if
better.
you read the notes, you
Now I'm
could, like, ask
insecure about
me-
my lack of travel.
Now you can ask me questions that I teach you.
How many countries have you been to with a gun?
Two. Two. Next one.
Next question.
How many states?
Oh.
This is where the co-host comes in. I'm trying to get his like credentials. But
All right, so let's
my favorite country, like a co-host might ask that.
sure. What's your favorite country? This is all about me, Jeff.
It's not about me. I'm
Pavel's
teaching you
pouring
guys-
more
I'm
whiskey.
just-
This is starting to
I'm
look
just-
all. You know, I feel like there might be a common denominator between Veterans Day and blacking out on these podcasts. So what is your favorite country?
Spain.
Spain?
Yeah, hands down.
España?
Spain. Yeah, Spain's my favorite place.
Where have you been?
Well, I just
Do you have a favorite spot in Spain?
Spain is just all the Balearic Islands, which is like Formentera. And you can't sound like a douchebag. You can't not sound like a douchebag without talking about Formentera, Ibiza,
Ibiza.
and Mallorca. And those three islands are like some of the most beautiful beaches, some of the most beautiful places, some of the most fun that you can like ever find.
Mhm.
It's in the Mediterranean Sea. You hit it at the right time, September, October of
Carnival.
every year.
Mhm.
End of Carnival.
I like your
end of
timing, though.
season. Yeah,
Mhm.
after all the Brits have gone back, sorry, bad boy Bulldogs. Like
Nobody likes the
you-
Brits.
nobody wants to be in the city.
Tea party.
These motherfuckers. It's like more like teabag party. Yeah. And no, but thank you to the production crew. It's amazing. Yeah.
So, and how long were you there?
So I've been to Spain every year for like the last like 10 years,
Mhm.
although COVID.
Yeah. I don't count anything after
The
COVID.
7 years before that though, like I was in Spain every year for like 6 weeks
Mm-hmm.
or 2 months. Or like in Europe. But
So
like,
what was your favorite thing?
I always came in Barcelona.
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 I always
Say it right.
I always arrived in Barcelona. You guys picked up the wrong
Or-
thing.
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Oh, I always came in. Yeah.
I arrived in Barcelona.
I heard. But I also fucking came there.
And we usually like leave from Barcelona. Like it's a good international airport, you know, or like you gotta go to Frankfurt, Germany.
Yeah, that's the one.
Those are like
Luftwaffe
the two
flies
major
from there.
hubs.
Lufthansa.
Right, yeah, Lufthansa. But I love coming through like south of Europe because no one gives a fuck. When you come in or come out, they're basically like they don't want to deal with you. They're
Really?
like, yeah, go. Oh, if you're leaving from like an airport in Greece, they're like, yep, see you. We really don't give a fuck.
Adios.
You
That's
go to
a-
Spain? Cool.
That's another country that doesn't care.
Yeah.
That's Greece,
Yeah.
right there.
It doesn't care as far
I have
as
so much
security.
respect for that.
No, and especially if you're leaving, they're just like, oh, you're Spain's problem now.
Yeah,
You're
go.
like, "Oh, you're going to France? Vaya con
Adios.
Dios," or whatever
Yeah.
they say it like that in French. I don't know how they say that. You know what I mean?
I used to know.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Also, for the listeners, Pavel speaks like 50 fucking languages.
Do you want a baguette for your waiter?
Au revoir. Here's your baguette. Get the fuck out of here. So when I was living in Germany, we rented a car and drove to.
Oh, well.
We rented a car and drove to France because a couple people I was with were like, "We want to see Paris, want to see the Eiffel Tower, want to see the Louvre, all that shit."
Yeah.
And so we had a couple friends from the States flew into Frankfurt, and we went and picked them up at the airport in Frankfurt, and then we drove to Paris. And we're like driving, and we're like crossing the border, and I'm like, "Howdy, parlez-vous français?" And the guy's like, "Get out of your car. we got to talk to you."
French guy wasn't happy. I can
He
tell you.
did not think it
One
was
of my
funny.
favorite trips ever. I was living in Croatia, driving to Bosnia Herzegovina
Yeah.
with an Estonian
Okay.
in the car. And we get to
That's
the
a
border,
good trip, man.
and we get to the border, and we get there, and the guy looks at me. He's like, "White as fuck." And he's just like, I can tell, kind of like, if you don't have your shit in order, like I'm gonna fuck with you.
Uh-huh.
And the Estonian in the car, like she's sitting like shotgun, and she goes, "Sup?" The guy goes, "Cool, yeah."
Really?
It just gives us.
You just gave him like the Estonia head nod.
I'm like, "What did you just do?" She's like, Just drive.
We're good.
You just go."
We're good.
I was like, what kind of secret did you just?
It's a
pull?
thing though. It's a thing. Like I think
because I was white and like stupid.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
I was like, "Here's my passport," and here's all.
Oh, same. Like when we crossed the border into France, I'm wearing like a Cubs baseball hat, a Carhartt jacket,
Yeah.
and I'm redneck.
I wasn't that white. I
And I'm
wasn't
like-
that red.
and I'm like total redneck talk my high school French.
So you couldn't travel more American than that.
I
Like,
literally was the giant red flag of how not to travel.
We're gonna get to that, so I appreciate you teeing that up.
by the way, nobody cares about crossing borders in Europe.
I think it was more.
No, I thought so.
Yeah.
Like when I was crossing, it was like proper.
Yeah.
Because growing up, like going from San Diego to Mexico,
Sure.
casual fucking thing.
It's even easier to come back.
I would just high five the guy.
Yeah.
Be like, American, when they're like country of natural.
He's like, bring me back some of that good.
Yeah, totally. He's like, "You should have enough tacos, otherwise go back," you know? And yeah, but then when I like, when you travel abroad, like Europe, they check you everywhere.
They do check you, but also like depends which country you travel into.
Well, like Bulgarian borders are tight. You're not.
Bulgarian borders are tight.
Bulgaria does not fuck around.
You're not roaming.
They're tight, but like if you go from Bulgaria to Greece and from Greece to Bulgaria within those European borders,
Yeah.
nobody really cares.
Uh,
I've traveled to Greece a bunch of times for like let's say concerts and like we stay there for like a couple of weeks with friends of mine, and it's like we're the most sketchy looking dudes crossing the border. First off, like everybody else but the driver is drinking. 4 dudes in the car. The car is like a 7 Series BMW, and it's like, what are you guys smuggling? Nobody's even asking you that. They're like,
yeah.
come on right in. Where are you going?
Right.
Going down south.
But also, like, Europeans travel with passports all the time.
Yeah.
So like, do you get your passport stamped when you go across the border?
Within the EU, no.
No.
Within the EU, you can
When you're
go
in the
just with
EU
your ID card.
Yeah, it's just like moving from state to state.
Yeah.
It's just like you have to have an ID, but they're not gonna like,
Yeah.
you know,
Got
stamp it.
So before the EU is in place,
Well, yeah, everybody.
I don't know.
got passports.
Wow.
because I remember when I was in Germany, that was like the
The
first.
borders were tighter back then.
Yeah, I remember when I was in Germany, it was, I don't even remember what year it was, but it was like right when the EU was a thing and they had first started using euros everywhere. They had just gone from the Deutschmark and like there were still Deutschmarks floating around. What are we looking for?
Yeah, found it. Yeah, found it.
Who's doing this?
We have some in studio stuff.
We got some.
here. All right, well, I'm gonna take this opportunity to segue as to like when you're jumping borders, what do you carry? How do you pack?
9mm for sure. If you're not armed, you're doing it wrong.
Especially if you're jumping from something.
Yeah.
Top of my list to mention to the audience was towel. So
I would say water.
I don't do towels.
no, you shouldn't pack a towel. It's an
I-
idiot thing. I just looked up some stuff on the internet.
Sure. I mean, when I traveled, I had a handful of go-to things.
Don't you have one of those foldable quick dry towels? You know, that take up very little.
Yeah, I was never really concerned about
You
that.
need that.
No, I always tried to travel with water. Not that water, like in Europe, water's fine. Like it's not going to be a problem. You can always get water. I'm always one of those people.
I don't travel with water, man.
No, like just a water bottle. Like I
Always have a bottle.
always have a bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like
Like
number
collect
one.
water at every possible step.
Yeah, always be type of shit
Yeah.
popped off. I don't know why. Maybe it's just like a military thing.
That's really funny because I haven't seen him drink water in like maybe 2 months.
Since I've known him.
Yeah, you guys have never seen me drink
He's
water.
either the best camel, we
Right.
Yes,
you know,
I drink water during the day. We only hang out when it's dark out.
true.
That is true, actually. We are nighttime friends.
Mm-hmm.
What do you even do during the day?
Nobody knows. Half the time I don't even know because
Right.
I'm still recovering.
I think Casey and I tried to have lunch one time together, and we were both just so anxious. We were like, I don't know. What
We
to
got to
do.
go have some drinks. No, we did. We were like at lunch and we were like, "This is gay. Let's go have some drinks."
Which led us to the worst pizza experience.
Oh my
that we
God.
could ever have possibly imagined. The
But then
drinks-
we got drunk and then things started working out.
and then
And
seen
then
it.
it started
sun
lining
went
up.
down, everything smoothed out.
Yeah.
yeah,
I've seen him daytime while like walking the dog or like going to a gun range. That's it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
And it always end up into drinking afterwards.
Oh yeah. Man, I might need to go to a meeting.
Yeah, we have a meeting right now.
This isn't intermission. So Casey,
By
let's
the way,
talk
that's an
about travel.
Let's talk about travel. But by the way,
We're about to get your ass on a plane and go to Betty Ford, motherfucker.
talking about liquids.
Oh my God.
That's the segue, people.
All right, well, let's talk about this. When you travel, we talked a little bit about traveling in fatigues or in uniform.
Can I tell you something I always traveled with? I always traveled with a spoon.
The spoon.
Yeah, so in MREs you get it's like a really durable brown hard plastic spoon, and that was like I still have one in my backpack. I don't know why, but sometimes you need to eat and there's not utensils, so
And you,
I sold Cutco for a while,
Uh-huh.
and we used to roll around with like the table knives.
Yeah.
And you go to a steakhouse and be like, "Can I get you?" To be like,
nah. I brought my own. No, I always rolled with a spoon. I don't know why. I'm not even like a fat kid.
"You are such a fat kid."
But not like I'm a fat kid at heart, but I'm not like a
kid.
what? I'm not physically.
Well, you're
fat.
not physically fat, but like all
But
like,
at heart.
Look at your Facebook post about food.
It's all
Fat kid.
It's fat.
that's
I am a fat kid trapped in a skinny guy's
I
body.
think your actual quote several times has been, "Nice try, Jenna. I can fat kid anything."
Yeah, I can. Oh, I can bread and fry I would be breading and frying beer.
But we're for this GD podcast. I
Right.
can bread to fry
right now.
Right now.
No. So, what do you travel with? Extra socks.
I think like, how do you travel? Like, let's just start there. What do you wear when you travel? Because I'm gonna tell you a pet peeve of mine. I hate seeing people at the airport in pajamas.
Fail.
with their
Yeah.
pillow,
Fail.
and they're just like the
And, like,
slippers,
Socks and slides.
I don't know.
Get
What
out of here.
No.
earth,
Get out.
doing
Go home.
here with your self-respect.
When
Right,
you,
go on.
well, it's a self-respect thing,
Ugh.
but also like when I travel, I try to like be prepared for a potential emergency situation.
For sure.
And
And
you-
you may be stranded for 48 hours.
Right.
You should operate in that regard.
Yeah, you should operate that I have everything
Have
that
an
I need.
external battery pack, some cables, cords, a water bottle.
If you wear contacts, bring some solution or bring some glasses.
and keep that shit in your carry-on, not your
100%.
checked bag.
So one of my good friends, he when he travels, he doesn't even travel with a carry-on. If he's doing like a 2-day trip or a 3-day trip, he wears like cargo pocket pants, cargo pocket shirts, and he has everything on his person. Like you don't want to be behind him going through the scanner
No.
because he literally has an entire carry-on on his person.
Right.
But yeah,
In the pro tips section of this conversation, I'm just gonna interject a quick quip here.
Mhm.
Always get behind somebody who's wearing a sport coat and never someone who has a stroller.
yeah, don't get behind families. You don't want to be.
Sport coat, that dude probably travels a lot.
Yeah.
Or that dude that probably travels a lot. Family,
No, train wreck.
even if they travel a lot, they just got a lot of steps they have to go
For
through.
sure.
I'm not
Also,
mad
like,
at it, 'cause you got a kid, you got
Don't be the guy.
Also shoes. Also shoes. You can
Yeah.
look at people's
Yeah.
shoes. Like
Jewelry.
Jewelry,
The first tip. The first tip. If you've got a bunch of like bling on the wrists,
Yeah.
like, all right, first of all.
They're also about people who like they wait for the last moment to get right before the scan, and then they start taking everything off of them. Yeah.
What do you mean?
You could have taken that
I can't
belt.
wear my belt.
You could have taken that belt like 10 minutes ago. You've seen everybody taking it off. Like your shoes are still there. Like, where do you think you're going? To space? We're not gonna shoot you up there.
I get to go.
What do you think I can't wear this bomb vest through this?
What you got? Ah,
I got the key. I'm so
I
surprised.
got coins. I got everything.
Look, as much as we're talking about bad travelers, like it's as much on you to avoid them
100%.
as it is to like
You gotta be able to
They
spot.
gotta be better, but it's on you if you get behind.
You gotta
one
spot
and
it.
you fly in, like that's on you. Yeah,
No, those
so-
people
so-
for me are like wide open mouth breathers, man.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't seen anything of what's going on around you, so it just went,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, okay. Oh, I gotta do that. All right.
At the front of the line.
All right. I do it for like the 200 times now in my life, but like it's a brand new experience for me today.
So I have a question. Working for the airline,
Yeah.
do you still have to go through security?
Oh, you go through security, but it's a way lighter process because you already vetted.
You're right.
Yeah.
You already have a
So you're
background
not-
check and everything. Like
you're not-
nobody's patting you.
So
down.
does like the whole crew go through together pretty much?
Well, they scan your bag like when you check into the airport.
Right.
For anything like like
So like how does that work? You have like is there like a back door into the airport or
there is a back door.
there is
Yeah, there is a special check-in for crew.
okay.
Yeah.
So the check-in for crew is like the one that we were doing in Emirates was like you get there 2 hours before the flight. So we have a 20 minutes opening to check in for your flight.
Okay.
Then you go through like through security. They literally scan everything on you, but you don't get through thorough like
They
check.
don't like we need to pull you aside because
Yeah,
you've been
because-
randomly selected.
You've been working there for 2 years already. Like you've been vetted already, and nobody cares about
I
it.
always got randomly selected.
Let me just throw a couple
Like, you
tips.
get randomly selected for drug tests, which people like occasionally fail because they're dumb and they get fired.
I don't need to take a test to tell you that I'm on drugs.
Yeah, right. So yeah, you get your
We can-
stuff checked.
We can streamline this real quick.
You get
If
your
I've been
stuff-
randomly selected, I am positive for drugs.
Can we talk severance?
No need to meet gays here, buddy. I'm coming up hot. This
Right
Swiss
here.
quiz
All right.
is not going well.
I'm gonna offer something out. One of my travel buddies, shout out to Mark Myers.
Oh, we weren't using last names.
It's not a last name. You made it one. It's like a moniker.
Oh,
Like
so
not
Mark-
even a real person.
right.
It's
It's like James Bond or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know. In case you fucked that up. Anyway, he like has a wife and a kid.
Uh,
Anyway,
He lives in
In
Mom's
trailer.
maiden name.
taught me the best lesson. She was like, always wear a sport coat if you're a guy, because when you get to security, you
Lots
can
of
have-
pockets.
Well, lots of pockets. Like you got gum, you got your pen.
You just take the jacket off.
You just take the jacket off.
Ooh, that's pretty smart.
And then all like so you don't have to move anything, right? Like, usually you have a belt, and like sometimes you have to mess with that, but like hopefully
Butt plug. Sometimes you got to take that out.
Yeah,
Well, usually those are glass, so they don't even register.
yours are glass.
They don't.
Yours are.
Yeah.
I'm always so scared I'm going to break them. I'm
Stainless
minor
steel.
metal. Yeah.
I use only stainless steel.
Clamps, yeah. All right.
Same.
You know, I'm trying to get through airports. Y'all guys
Understood.
right? Yeah. All right. Well,
Maybe my butthole is just a little tighter than yours.
episode 11.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Back on track. Anyway,
Oh, to be honest,
take the jacket off, and also like your shoes.
Mhm.
So like I wear sneakers.
So knee-high lace-up boots.
I wear sneakers primarily when I'm traveling. I always rock with like sneakers that I can like rock in and out.
In and out,
I don't have to unlace.
easy to take off,
Or like
easy
dress
to put on.
shoes that have like ideally like a side zip, like a boot.
Sure.
You know? Or like a cowboy boot you can pop.
Mhm.
Yeah, not 1,000 eyed.
No,
Not knee-high lace-up
Oh
boots.
my
No.
goodness, yeah. That just helps you get through security like quite
Yeah.
easily.
Well, and also
It cuts like so much of the stress.
And I
out.
feel like-
See, when you get there, you're like laptop, shoes, jacket.
I think they appreciate it too.
yeah, they do.
They're like, oh, this guy's dialed. We don't have to randomly
Yeah.
select
No, you
him.
know what I do every time I go through security because I'm good at it. I like
Slide him a 50.
no, give him the cool guy nod. I'm like, you're welcome for me.
Yeah.
Coming through.
You're welcome that I
For me, no, you didn't have to yell at me, holler.
Yeah,
You didn't have to put a tray out
So-
in my face.
you have to explain the 15 steps for me to get through that
Yeah.
machine. That
I've got
all the time.
I've got
You shouldn't have to
you
anyway.
shouldn't have to.
Because the rest of these idiots that are needing that instruction.
I've gotten in trouble multiple times going through security.
Why? Because you don't fly ever.
Well, yeah, because I'm that guy. First of
You
all.
are that guy. too.
But
I would
no,
not
so in the military, your wife is allowed to accompany you to your gate, right? So she can have, but she has to go through security to get to your gate. And my ex at the time, she always carried a knife in her bag because I got her this badass like Benchmade butterfly knife, all titanium. Shout out Benchmade, best knives on the planet. And yeah, so
Benchmade. What kind of knife was she carrying? Like a knife?
butterfly knife.
Like a machete?
like a big ass butterfly
Like a
knife.
knife.
Like a proper machete.
That
The
you
thing
need
is-
that to get from to the gate.
No, she always carried it in her
Oh.
purse, and
Grocery
It was a
store.
and she wasn't. Which she wasn't. It was a fucking samurai sword, all right.
Samurai sword, man.
Like it.
No, but she wasn't flying, so we didn't even think about it.
Right.
And we're in line, and she's like sad that I'm leaving, and so we go through and like sets off the thing, and it's like this big ass knife that military and law enforcement only, but because she was a spouse at the time, anyway. So it's like a thing.
Yeah.
Well, apparently it was the second time she's tried to come through security with a knife in her life that I didn't know. So, like, her name goes on a list, and I'm in uniform, getting ready to fly back to post because I'd been home on leave. And yeah, it was a whole fucking thing.
What happened?
They
She pulled the machete.
no, so I
And
think
they gave her a rifle.
looks like you're going downrange, honey.
Jesus Christ, two guys took over.
Let's go.
Let's just say it was a tiny hostage situation.
All of a sudden, we had a 757 under our command.
They like scared the shit out of her, and I'm like, guys, she's with me. She's just seeing me at the gate. She's not even flying.
Yeah.
And they're like, guy, get on the fucking ground, put your hands behind your back. No, it wasn't that bad. But I mean, it was like a go to her room and ask some questions, and she's like bawling and crying. And that was it was a thing, especially because it was like, but the first time it was like for like when you know those little Swiss Army knives you carry on like your keychain.
So cute.
She had like one of those on her keys. Anyway,
That's how she got started.
yeah, that's how she got started in her life of crime.
Next thing you know, 9-inch machete coming off the back, like a samurai.
Well, it pissed me off because it was like
You can't see it in studio, but Pavel just did the best reaction of what I envisioned her doing.
Well, it pissed me off. It's like a $300 badass
Back and
titanium Benchmade butterfly knife. It's like the coolest knife ever. And of course, the lady's like, "Oh, we're gonna have to confiscate this."
But
I'm like, "Can I?"
did you not appreciate the coolness of it though?
No, she was like stoked. She was like, "Oh, we're gonna confiscate this right into my fucking pocket."
yeah, this is
Reserve-
this
This is going into my private collection.
we didn't confiscate nothing. She was just being loud and lewd.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're tracking because the next topic, great segue, Casey. Because the next topic is at the airport. What do you wear at the airport? Are sweatpants acceptable?
Absolutely not.
Nope.
No.
Negative.
You should,
Also, by the way, not even outside the airport.
men can only wear sweatpants one time outside of the house. On the way to the gym or on the way home from the gym.
Okay, we're gonna edit that
What do you
because
think?
he's wrong. Actually, we're not gonna edit it. We're just gonna say.
I think if you're leaving the house, sweatpants are okay in the house.
no, yeah. Sweatpants. You
Sweatpants.
leave the house, you put pants on.
I think sweatpants are acceptable at the gym.
What on earth? You're doing bench press and you're just like straddled out on the and like it's just like profiling your dog.
So
Yeah.
Well, it's
I'm
fine,
okay
but,
with
like
it.
what are we doing?
Bench press.
Uh,
Hey, sweatpants are for athletic activities. I think if you're doing an athletic activity, sweatpants are fine.
you never get an erection when you like do
Hang out with dudes at the gym? No, Jeff, I sure don't.
when you
That's
crush
how-
an ER.
No.
that's how
You
you're.
bitch the most ever. You're not
That's
like
how you're first on the bench. Nobody wants to be around you.
Yeah.
Who wants to wrestle a guy who has?
Bitch that tent. See who wants to come hang out.
Nobody wants to wear. Nobody wants to be near you.
I think sweatpants doing an athletic activity.
so
are okay.
you're doing sweatpants as as an athletic activity to keep people away from.
No, I just think that's what are you gonna
No,
what are you gonna bench press it?
I don't know Spanish.
Also, if I get a boner, you're gonna see it in jeans just the same as you're gonna see it in sweatpants.
All right, first of all, you're wildly out of line. All right, like this is the opportunity.
All right, what do you wear in the gym? You wear shorts?
to jeans. It's my two options. No wonder you got kicked off the goddamn mountain.
I ski in jeans.
That's it. I know you do.
I absolutely
That's
have.
why you haven't skied for 10 years.
Oh.
Because Aspen won't let you back because you've been doing too much denim on denim.
But
You're not good enough to do denim.
I am.
Hey, denim on denim combo is a
I am.
solid one.
You're not good enough to be ironic. You just look like a bender. No,
All right, sweatpants outside the house. This co-host Stints is no dice.
Okay,
Well, you can't.
Pavel,
Hey.
sweatpants outside the house for athletics or not outside the house at all?
Athletics I can do, man. There is different kinds of sweatpants. I'm
Yeah,
not
but
talking about the ones with like
joggers.
the bag.
Very Eastern European you do joggers. He's
Of course.
talking about white trash. Fuck.
Hey, I'm talking about classic.
Oh, Mark Gray sweatpants. Yeah, 100%.
Like non-branded.
All right, let's ask Lizzie.
All right, production.
Production, Lizzie, what do you think?
What do I think? Key group.
I agree with Jeff.
You're
No acceptable outside the house at all.
No.
All right, so what do you work out?
They are in like extreme circumstances, like someone died.
Yeah, like the
and
house is
you're
on fire.
doing
I
it.
got
zombies.
No.
Or over your shorts to and from the gym. Over
I
the
could go
things you're
sweatpants
gonna
over
wear in the gym,
shorts. You go with that.
you know?
What about shorts over sweatpants?
Don't do that.
Wasn't that a thing in the 80s? I feel like that was
Not
the
a thing
thing.
then, not a
Like a
thing now.
Teen Wolf, I think.
Yeah, Teen Wolf. Yeah.
Michael J. Fox said that. Teen Wolf.
So, all right. So, what do you work out in?
Basketball shorts and compression shorts underneath.
Okay.
Yeah.
In compression, bro.
So, what about? See, I don't believe in compression shorts because it like ties my
Well, I
chest.
don't wear underwear.
I don't either.
Yeah.
That's why I like sweatpants.
I know, but that's not I understand.
I mean, I don't go hang out around schools. I'm just going to the gym.
All right.
Wait,
All right, we've
Episode-
gotten wildly.
Episode 12.
Casey's arrest warrant.
Sweatpants and proximity to
Schools.
municipality.
Oh.
All right. Great, we're doing great,
Yeah,
kids.
let's do
We're
it.
doing great.
Comfy-
All right, so
comfy-
at the
comfy
airport, we
stretchy.
talked about what to wear on the day. Be comfortable, be stretchy. But I have a thing. I have an idea. So I told you my buddy wears the suit coat, like a sport coat, and I think it's great to get through
I
security.
think that's a beautiful
It's,
answer.
it's money. I'm a big fan of it. But also, it looks nice. And every once in a while you go talk.
Because you're not gonna be only on the airport.
You check into the lounge and you're like, hey, just checking to see if there's any seats on the earlier flight.
Nobody's joined
And
the
she's
Mile
like,
High Club in
actually,
fucking
there's
pajama
like-
pants.
She's like, actually, there are seats on the earlier flight, but we only have first class because you look so dapper in your jacket.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, you know what? I wanted to get there earlier anyway, so it works out.
We
like-
only have this PJ, and it looks like you should be on it.
Guess
So
what's not happening when you show up with your fucking Kung Fu Panda pajamas and you slip from
you are stuck in the airport for the rest of your life.
There forever.
There is zero chance.
You are not going forward.
You seen that movie with?
You
what's
ain't
his
getting
name?
laid
Tom
either.
Hanks? Yeah,
All right,
not
we're-
joining the club.
We're a few minutes in. We're about halfway, so we're gonna do a
Do another one?
a refuel,
Alright.
recharge. Production is already ahead of us.
Yeah.
Amazing. Love the team.
If you're listening at home, play along.
Dang. You don't always get a bad episode shot. We're just clipping through things. All right, we talked about don't get. Oh, by the way, when you're in the airports, don't be that person.
Nah.
Don't go to Starbucks. Don't go to Mickey D's. Go down terminal, find another coffee shop, like just
Drink.
maybe drink a cup.
Go drink 2 beers and get on the
Drink-
plane.
Also, yeah, go to a bar, be a
Drink
proper fucking
alcohol.
traveler.
Yeah.
Yeah, you idiot. Like you
Get a little
coffee
loose.
is wired for your
Right.
fucking flight.
All right,
Because
so I paid
more
for a ticket,
anxiety,
so
more
I have to
anxiety.
8 hours to Frankfurt. I can't wait to
Yeah. Just fucking tuned up.
jet for this. Am I
Get out and run next to the plane the whole way there.
my middle economy seat?
Yeah.
I paid for the ticket, so I gotta eat on the plane. No food before, no drinks, no nothing.
Oh, can we talk about that? Don't bring hot food on the plane, you asshole.
No.
Yes, because it stinks.
Nobody wants to smell your
I
cheeseburger.
don't know, dude.
And then it sits there for the rest
Totally.
of the flight.
Also,
Be better.
if I was your
Don't
love
drink it
stewardess,
earlier.
you would not be let on the plane with that.
Yeah.
It's rude.
I like to bring cans of tuna on the plane.
That's-
Slide them down the aisle.
Want a dip? Want a dip? Want a dip?
There you go.
Hey, can you get row 7? He's not responding.
Can you bring Zins on the flight? Yeah, the little chew pouches.
Yeah, you can.
Can we get?
Well, until like May 1st, I don't think you can legally possess them anymore.
What?
They like came after Zins. Didn't you
What?
see like
Yeah.
Schumer or Schuler or what's his name?
I don't know.
You know.
The representative?
Yeah.
Chuck Schumer?
Yeah.
Okay. What did he do?
Brought something to the floor that was like Zins are bad.
I mean, they are.
Yes.
But
So
so
they were. It was like basically like what do they call it? Doing a rider or a coattail on like legislation that they were trying to pass
sure.
about vaporizers
Mm-hmm.
and flavored vapes being marketed to kids,
Sure.
and they attached menthol to this, and then also that.
Oh my, really? I know that you can't get. I don't think you can get.
By the way,
flavored Zins.
disclaimer: we didn't say this at the top of the episode. Check your own.
Check your facts.
Don't
Check your
fucking
facts.
run with this.
We make a
Don't
lot of
listen
shit
to
up,
us.
especially after our
I don't think
second.
that's made up. It's just loosely based in truth.
Sure. Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's not let the podcast get in the way of the next topic.
All right.
Let's talk about how you book travel. Amazing when you're like a
Mhm.
flight attendant, right, or a stewardess. as you
Yeah.
refer to yourself.
Yes. I identify as a stewardess nowadays.
Just so he can dress in the ladies'
So
locker
nobody
room.
can mess with me. If you do,
Now I have full rate of both block rooms. I can change wherever.
fire's gonna rain on you.
I can work out in sweatpants.
He's like, actually, I work in sweat.
I work in.
Right?
I stewardess in my sweat
And
dress.
all of the tables are done.
Always.
Yes.
Always.
I like to put my meat on your table while I give you nuts.
So the best way to book travel is like on somebody else's dime. So if you have a company, get them to pay for it.
Yeah,
Get
Totally.
them to attach it to your
absolutely.
flyer.
Join the military and they will pay for you to travel
Just some
everywhere.
quick tips. I think if you're booking international
Don't do
travel,
that.
you want to be 6 weeks out. If
Yeah.
you're booking domestic travel, 3 weeks out.
I
Try to
for
fly
ticket
on-
prices, yes, but the way that the world looks these days, I would want to know where
Stay
I'm.
home. Just stay.
Don't try.
Just stay.
Also for
Buy guns. Don't leave your house.
to
Drink at home.
And buy beans.
And
Also-
beans and gold.
book them ahead of time, but also if you need to change, don't wait for that last deadline period to change into that, because the airlines don't care about your ticket. That's what nobody's really saying anywhere, but like that's how the way it is, because
They don't give a shit.
they don't care. They make
Well, they
their
overbook flights.
always overbook.
And if they can,
They
if
make
they can
their
call
mon-
you tomorrow
Yeah.
and then it goes past the date of when you need
Yeah.
to change, then they don't get to change.
So they make their money off the cargo,
Mhm.
which is a rare topic to anybody, but like
Explain.
they make their money off the cargo. Cargo like transports everything from whatever you can imagine, from firearms to candy to dead bodies to
Children.
dresses to whatever. Everything's in the cargo.
South American children.
And that's what pays for the whole flight. So that's why your tickets are skyrocketing till the last moment until like they have like few tickets left for which you pay like half of the ticket price that were originally listed.
So on a commercial flight
Yeah,
that is a passenger flight.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cargo on that flight.
cargo pays off the whole
Snakes on
flight.
every plane.
There's
Snakes.
fucking snakes
On a
on the fucking plane.
So cargo pays for that.
They're always transporting snakes. You should always be aware of
Like
snakes.
a friend of mine recently.
Every time you're on a plane.
There are
There's a
snakes on
motherfucking snake on a motherfucking plane.
And that's why.
wolves. I've also heard they
And that's why your
transport
seat is
wolves
so
out
cheap.
too.
on-
Now there is
Yeah, they have massive amounts of snakes. And I hear.
I kid you not, we literally flew baby elephants on the plane when I was operating the flight.
See, I would want to like hang out with the elephants.
You can't, moron, but
We did that, so.
You can't, moron.
I want to hang out with elephants. Sounds about right. Cause you're an elephant.
Hey, elephants.
Sounds about right.
All right, elephant family. There we go. I'm one of you guys.
Elephants. We'll take the train next time. Then we can hang out.
But hey,
You fucking Barnum and Bailey.
Tarzan right here wants to hang out with the
Going
elephant.
from Houston to
At least I know it's called a fucking test.
Yeah.
the most profitable route.
Yes.
God.
So really, I didn't realize. No, I did not realize that like
There is, yeah.
regular commercial people flights.
Yeah.
Because I always assumed like there were like cargo flights and then there were like passenger flights.
No, there is a lot of cargo on the regular
Those
flights.
exist. But
Cargo on the regular flights is 90% of what the plane carries.
amazing.
Really?
Your luggage is 10% of it.
I know when I flew military, everybody got on a scale. And I noticed when you fly civilian, they're not weighing people.
No.
They weigh your bags.
Oh,
That's why
that's a good point. I
You get-
wondered about that. Yeah.
the book tickets account for
They just
10%
put it in
of
the
the cargo.
cargo bay. They're
Yeah.
pacing. Then you're like 140 pounds fatty. A pop doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're never like, oh, you're gonna need to sit closer to the front or you
Yeah.
need to go to the back.
Right.
But, like every
Also-
military flight I've ever been on, like uniformed military, it's all military personnel, it's a military aircraft, minus helicopters. You stand on a scale.
Yeah.
If it's a full plane. If it's a full plane. If it's an empty plane, they
military,
don't
it's
care.
weighted to the last pound.
So well some I
And
mean,
they're talking about efficiency there, but like here you have some threshold of the plane that's never used.
also the scale we always got on was like this 1970s Vietnam. Like you have to like put the weights on it and like move the slide.
Who even calibrated that fucking thing?
Yeah.
Who knows?
That's why I would always like put rocks in my pocket and then take them out after. Be like, gotcha, bitch.
Calibrated.
We're going down. We're going down.
It's calibrated in microwaves anyway, so who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right. Well,
I had no idea about the cargo. That's super
All right,
interesting.
well,
Um,
I think that my original question was though, like how you book travel, because you like, when you worked for the airline, you would just do a lot of standby jumper seat.
You stand by, but you also get the loads for the flights, so you know what you're standing by for. You're not standing by for like a overbooked flight.
So you could pick the right.
Yeah, if you wanna make sure you travel and you're gonna reach and you're on a standby ticket, you're gonna pick one that's like you have like 100 seats left, and those are not gonna
Yeah.
be booked already.
So I think this like ties into.
but when you say how to book a flight, you mean like get an app and book your flight through an app? Do you
Well-
mean like call up American and be like,
But also
put me on this plane?
what Jeff says, he has a lot to do with it too, because like when you see like the prices skyrocketing, it means like it's getting tight on that plane.
Yeah.
Sure,
And-
as seats become less.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean that makes
Also book it in advance, and what I was saying about like, because a friend of mine literally trying to fly back home. What is he flying to? He's like flying to Bosnia. I was like, dude, you might as well fly to the jungle or whatever. But like, so he's trying to overbook
Sarajevo's not the safest airport. Let's just be
Yeah.
honest.
he's trying to rebook his flight. And he waited till the last moment because we have like a week before the flight to rebook another date.
Yeah.
So he called somebody and then they were like, oh yeah, we'll do that for sure for you. And then of course they didn't. And they sent him an email, oh, wait for us. And then he's way within that period.
Yeah.
Where they can tell him that he should book another ticket. So just like if you have to rebook it in advance, don't wait for that last moment of the cutoff date for you to rebook your flights.
And that's why I take the Amtrak and drive.
Cut off. I think also like it's important to have like an airline. Like you were aligned with Emirates and that worked for the regions in which you were trying.
Do you have one?
I've been Denver based for the last like 15 years, so United is a hub, so that's been my home. Like that's where I have my credit card, my loyalty, my points, and I try to book flights primarily through them or through their network.
Let me ask you this.
That's like a pro tip, by the way. Get a credit card, align with an airline that's like in your city. So like if you're in Dallas,
Yeah.
American, or if you're in Salt Lake City, Delta, like these airlines have hubs.
Yeah.
And you should try to align with like what you're gonna spend the most time in.
Do you feel like that makes a difference
It
as far
does,
as like
yeah,
preference?
totally.
So if you have an issue, they're like, "Oh,
So
you're a member, so
Yes.
we're gonna
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
better care of you."
It matters.
You can go to a different customer service line because you're a preferred traveler.
So like my Burger King card
Mhm.
makes me a member of Burger King,
Yes.
so like I get to hang out in the BK Lounge.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can. I know.
Which is a very elite lounge.
it's a big deal.
Well, and like certain terminals, like the Denver terminal, for example, is like a very prominent BK.
Yeah, it's a big BK hub.
Yeah. So when you're traveling through Denver,
That's the lounge you want to hang
you
out.
always up for points because you can.
I got you.
Because you know he's never
You're
in
in.
that BK lounge.
I've never been in that BK lounge.
You have to be flying in order to. Yeah.
Also, like another note, I like flying with Legacy Airlines, man, because like they have well-established hubs. I mean, yeah, if you have to fly like within the country or something like that, which I do.
Are you saying don't fly Spirit or Ryanair?
No, fly them, but fly
There's
fly
not Ryanair.
Ryanair, fly Ryanair. Let's say.
And Ryanair's a great. It's like a Southwest
But
provider.
it's not in the US, is it?
No.
It's in Europe most.
So my cousin's husband is a pilot for Ryanair, I don't know if he still is, but
They're
he
actually a
was.
pretty decent provider, but they have ridiculous like
Fly with them.
provisions like Spirit does, where they're like, you need to use the bathroom, give us
Yes.
a fucking euro. You need to like check a bag,
Sure.
give us 50.
So let me ask you this, as far as in the country, because I think most of our listeners, until we go big at Emirates, are gonna be US listeners. What would you like label them, like top favorite, second, third,
Delta and American are 1-2.
top?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alaska's second from those two. United after that.
What would you,
Outside of that, you're doing regional airlines.
so Southwest?
Yeah, and they all like JetBlue's good. Alaska used to be regional.
Is there anything that you would avoid?
Spirit, Frontier, and it depends on the type of travel that you're doing,
Yeah.
where you're going. Like if you're going abroad,
The Spirit and Frontier
use-
fly
if
international.
you're going,
Oh, no, so.
so Southwest will like purport to like service like some Central American countries.
All right.
But if you're going abroad, if you're leaving the continental US, or like actually you can take them to Hawaii.
Mhm.
But if you're going to another country, like just stay with the big four.
If
Just
you're flying out of the States, whatever you fly into, let's say you fly into Germany,
stay in network.
use Lufthansa or any American.
But that's
airline.
United.
Yeah.
Rolls up to
You
Star
use
Alliance,
whichever. Like
Star
so, your
Alliance.
destination determines your airline
Yeah.
right there
Right.
because they have a hub and they have everything established.
Yeah.
It's like use either any American airline
Yeah.
or use like let's say Lufthansa for Germany. Like if you're flying to France, use Air France. If you're flying to Britain, use whatever they use. I don't know.
Portugal,
The
TAP.
Wright brothers.
If you're in Portugal,
If you're flying to Afghanistan, you want
Yeah.
to use Taliban Air.
Yes,
Like that's
that's the one.
don't use Taliban.
It's like
no, but the way you get out of Afghanistan is just like run for the airport.
You want to grab the landing
you
gear
can
and then climb up as the landing
That's
gear is coming.
right.
but you can do pull-ups on it too.
Yeah, and then say something.
If you're
about-
strong enough.
Yeah.
When you leave Afghanistan, you want to
You
get
want-
on a U.S. aircraft that's
And leave
owned
people
by the
behind
Taliban
Yeah.
because we left a lot of aircraft.
Yeah.
Speaking of Taliban, let's talk about flying with firearms.
That's a great segue.
Is that a great segue? Because if you're going to Afghanistan, you're gonna probably want that.
I'm gonna have to watch out for my job because the co-host title is like, it's like this just might be host Hensley.
Who's Hensley?
Hensley, I don't know.
I've never heard of
Like
him.
James Bond, someone else.
So let me ask you this, because I've taken firearms to other countries,
Right.
but is that normally allowed?
Well, to other countries, depends what you do there.
Well, does it depend on the country? Because I'm sure.
Well, for civilian travel, it's like not a thing.
Really?
I mean, I don't know how I would ever get a gun to Brazil or
Yeah.
to Italy.
I mean, in the U.S., you can fly
Depends what
in the country.
well, depends what
with
you
firearms.
have entitled.
No, you have to check it, you have to.
You have to check it. So the stipulations are, it has to be unloaded. It has to be in a hard case and the case has to be locked.
Those are the regulations for the states.
And those for the states. And when you check it, they're gonna ask you to open it. You'll open it, they'll confirm that it's unloaded. You can have ammunition with it, but the ammunition has to be in the original box that it came in. So it can't be like loaded magazines.
Do they care about the drugs that you have like stashed inside the magazine?
Put the drugs in your stainless steel butt.
As long as it's fentanyl, I think it's fine.
I think fentanyl coming in is pretty easy.
Yeah.
I think actually we've got a government that's counting on it. But anyway, and then you relock the case and then they tag the case to make sure, like seal it, to make sure that it's not been opened.
Well,
Now being said, they have lost guns of mine before.
yeah.
Yes.
Tell this story. This is actually like, this is on page 3, but we're gonna pull it forward to, middle.
This is getting kind of long-winded anyway.
No, we've got like 20 minutes left and we only have like 4 more pages.
6 hours worth of bullshit.
We've covered 1 page, we only have.
So yeah, I was flying with a rifle. It was a military issued
For fun.
sniper rifle.
What?
For fun.
For fun.
We were just checking out different cities.
Yeah.
We decided to break it up a little bit. Like, oh, Dallas, what could happen? Observatory,
Going to
check out
Texas,
the views.
it's fine.
Why do you think I want to hang out with the elephants?
And I want to hang out with the elephants, so I can get guns, so got lemonade and fentanyl and.
Well, so much pushback at airports. It's so weird.
Everyone's a fuck. No, but the thing is, people fly firearms all the time. You'd be surprised
Right.
because you live in, say, you live in New York.
Yeah.
You're not going to elk hunt in New York, probably.
Yeah.
You're going to fly to Utah or Colorado or somewhere,
Yeah.
right? So you fly with your
You
rifle.
don't just buy a gun when you get there.
No, definitely not. I mean, I'm sure some knuckleheads do, but people that are actually into it don't. And so flying with firearms, surprisingly common.
Yeah. Very safe.
Yes.
I've never felt safer. Except when they lose your fucking gun.
Except when that snake puts that
Damn snake on the damn plane.
Fucking plane.
No, but so it was like 2 weeks, man. I was military, had a military weapon, it was in a case, it was locked, it was checked. I was flying as a civilian to or home from a school. And it also had night vision optics in the case, specifically for that rifle. And they fucking lost it. And I got it a couple weeks later, but I'm like stressing, I'm sweating it. I'd signed for this.
On a mission? Like, weren't you going?
No, it was training. It was in country. It was training. And I was coming home from training and I was taking leave. I was flying as a civilian,
Yeah.
yada, yada, yada. And yeah, they lost it. And it ended up like sitting.
That was a military issue.
Military issue rifle,
Yeah.
military, all the stuff. And so
What's that like if you go to your CO and you're like, so.
he was honestly,
I lost my gun.
well, I didn't lose it. They lost it.
I know, but what if you wouldn't have gotten it back? You would have to like come in and be like.
Well, I don't think it would have been on me. I mean, they understood. Like everyone in the military has to fly civilian a lot,
Right.
and especially when you're going to different schools or your TDY somewhere or whatever. And
So you're telling me the U.S. government has empathy for the inefficiencies of.
well, your command
commercial.
your command does. Your command knows that shit gets fucking lost.
Yeah.
As long as you're not the one that lost it, because they don't understand if you lose something.
Because you gave up the possession of it, so it's in their hands now. It's not in your possession. It's checked in.
No, I don't think James Bond ever lost a weapon.
James Bond is another thing.
That's not real.
It's a fucking
It's not
threat.
real. Hey, can we do Impossible Steve?
Can we pause this real quick? I want to take a leak real quick. And we'll jump back into James Bond in a minute. All right, so we're back. Speaking of James Bond never losing his gun on a plane,
Nobody knew we left.
nobody knew he left.
Yeah.
Well, we took a quick piss break.
Just pause.
We went to go check on our guns.
Call it pause.
Dan
Damn,
found our guns.
found our guns. All right, we're gonna have to take another quick break while we have a shootout. We'll be right back.
Get on the 50.
Get on the.
Stay on the 50.
right, guys.
All right.
Well, we edited out some stuff
Yeah.
that we had to.
So
Everything's safe now.
anyway, so what have you ever had shit lost? Have you ever had luggage lost? Have you ever had like your
Nope.
dignity stolen on an
Nope,
airplane?
because part of my episodes
Is
part of
how
my
to-
notes, part of my notes for this episode. is
You
like
always
how
have to check
unfuck-
bags.
No, you don't always have to check.
But you're traveling for a month.
I check bags.
What?
Month, I check bags.
A month I can make it.
I mean, I can make it, but I'm making sure I'm comfy, whatever I'm going for.
Depends on where you're going.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going like from San Diego to like Winter,
Yeah.
you know, you're probably
Ski
gonna-
trip to
you're gonna need
Aspen?
Check it back. You're gonna need to check it back.
You're coming on a
You're
ski
gonna
trip
go
to
back.
Aspen. Can I just say real quick? If you're coming to a ski trip in Aspen,
Take condoms.
just take condoms. Don't bring drugs. We got plenty of that shit here. Also, don't bring your ski gear from 1995.
Yeah, for real.
Leave your shit at home. Like you can rent better stuff, newer stuff,
Yeah.
or state of the art stuff here
Yeah,
than what you have.
yeah.
Like, give it up on it. How many people do you see in the airport with like some atomics from 1998? Am I wrong? Like, you see that shit.
I know.
And it's like, dude,
it really is a good call.
leave your shit sucks.
Well,
Leave
and
it
also just the extra effort that it takes to like drag that
Oh,
thing
it's-
around, to load it into the
Just-
car
you gotta-
when you get to the thing, and like
You're not carrying on skis.
Yeah.
You're checking that shit. So then you're gonna wait around for it. And I mean, shit gets lost. Because a lot of times
So that's the thing. You don't want to carry shit on. You don't want to wait around for it. So like, look,
You do wanna carry stuff
We can
on.
take this offline.
Right.
But if I'm traveling for a month, like this is guy code. This is different, right? Like girls need different shoes.
his
makeup, and-
carry-on is full of condoms.
No, he should be.
Yes.
I know.
And lube. But lube should be in your check-in because it's a liquid.
I know, but he's blank, so he's only protecting against disease.
Which he has.
All of them.
Okay, now I understand why you need to
Buy your hazard bag,
Buy a second-
whatever you need.
then just buy a second ticket. All right, if you need.
It's just,
Stop.
this is a seat for my sex. For my stuff.
Carry chains and everything.
I don't think our sponsors Thrager's is gonna like this very much.
Who's Threggers?
Those idiots that sponsored.
Hey, who's the sponsor?
They're like, I thought it was like his lube company.
They're like, Tagers, it's 847. It's like I've never heard of you in my entire life. No, you should. As a guy, I think like
You have enough pockets.
you have to have the right bag. No, nobody's traveling.
I have two
Yeah,
friends
please.
that travel with everything
I
on them.
know this is like bad training. This
Yeah.
is
It's like toothbrush in the sock. I could carry it on.
all right. So what I shared was like show up to the place with the blazer
Jacket.
and you can use them. You're like they show up in cargo pants. What do? Just take the cargo pants, drop them.
Oh no,
put them in.
they like have a bucket that they,
cargo vests.
it takes like
You
an
gotta have
hour for
buckets,
them
so you
to
put them in the
download.
buckets, they have no carry-on.
This is the opposite of what we're trying to.
Your way is better.
This is what we're trying to.
Don't do what my friends do.
Our
Do what
audience
Jeff's
is
friends do.
Better.
Yes.
This is what we're trying to do.
Absolutely.
Do better.
I gave you an example of horrible. Anyway,
All right.
so let's wrap this up.
We're not wrapping this up. I will do the wrapping up.
All right.
Your timing is way off.
All right,
All right.
I'm wrapping it up. So.
Is that like reference to the massive amount of condoms that?
I'm literally putting one on
We
right
can
now.
literally use them to wrap it up. All right.
So what? I think we got the travel thing locked in. Comms. I mean, pretty much nowadays, cell phones work everywhere,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, good point. You should use like interchangeable apps or like intercontinental apps like WhatsApp,
Mhm.
Signal,
Yeah.
where you can attach to messaging and comms via Wi-Fi.
Those are not encrypted, even though they say so.
Yeah, they're definitely not.
I trust Signal the most, I think.
Do you pay for Signal?
No,
Then it's not encrypted.
good point.
If you're not paying for it,
You're the product.
you are the product. Unless you're paying for your communications, they are selling your shit.
To say about what we were just talking.
Well, my interesting thing was like
Book
like
ahead.
where to stay.
Where to stay?
Yeah, like, do you stay at a hostel? Do you stay at a hotel? Airbnb? Do you
It's like,
find a fucking tent? Like, what do you do?
well, I'll
If
go-
you're single, I say go to a bar, pick up a girl from Eastern Europe,
Yes.
you will have a place to stay.
definitely for at least 6 months. You'll be
Yes.
there. Her brother will be there too, though.
Yes, you're gonna
Okay,
have
well,
to.
this is a
you
bit-
better
he's
fucking-
not gonna be a pleasant guy.
Alright.
This is actually.
You're gonna have to be able to fight, but
Yeah.
you'll have a place. To
Oh,
stay.
if you don't know how to fight, you'll learn how to fight.
Or you'll find out real quick that you can't fight.
Oh, yeah, totally, man.
Or you'll be the next sister.
Okay.
Whatever.
Oh my god, thanks for getting us back on track. That's
Well,
actually an interesting.
For getting places where to stay, I would say if you go to a sketchier country, use like a more official way, like a hotel. If you go like a more well like implemented society, you can do Airbnbs, whatever.
So would you not like Airbnb in Afghanistan?
No, I would not. I don't think I will. We got a base, therefore.
Alright. Yeah, exactly. Stay at the fucking base.
Similar, if you're traveling to Iraq, I would want
Oh
the
my
most expensive hotel. I would, don't count on traveling.
Also, like the usual back in 5 years back, the usual cheap places, so to call them, like which was what Thailand was cheap. They're not so cheap right now. If you're traveling just for like tourism and fun,
Yeah.
might as well go to Greece. You're gonna get similar prices.
I don't get the whole like Thailand thing. I know a lot of people go there. It's beautiful, all the stuff, but like,
You don't surf.
well, also
I think like going to the South Pacific makes a lot more sense if you're like,
I think people go to Thailand for one thing and one thing only.
Yes.
what's that?
Lady
Pad
boys.
Thai.
Lady
Pad
boys.
Thai.
100% lady boys. And pad thai.
What does that translate?
Ties of pad. I don't know.
Alright,
Well,
alright. So look, I wanna give some pro tips. Never check a bag if you can't. And I.
If you can get away without.
If you're a guy traveling on your own.
for less than a
Alright,
week,
let me
don't
give
check
you-
a bag.
Let me give you a couple tips on not needing to check a bag,
Mhm.
right? First of all, guys, and even if you're going to a city, you can go to, you need 3 pairs of pants.
I was gonna say two, but
I was
three.
gonna say
You could probably rock with 2.
But
3 t-shirts.
jeans and nicer pants.
I would say, yeah.
Or nice jeans and
And
comfortable
then you
jeans.
should have something, you should have something to like, you can just rock with.
Right, like some dark, nicer jeans that you could wear out for a little more formal. If you're going for a formal reason, you know you're going formal, and then you're taking a suit or a whatever.
It's 3 t-shirts.
Yep.
It's one button down
Or two.
and maybe 2 and a jacket,
Uh-huh.
3 pairs of socks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No underwear because you can save a ton of space, but.
Also, guys that wear underwear are weird.
Yeah, you don't need to. No.
And you should have 2 shoes. You should bring some Chucks and some boots.
Tennis shoes and boots.
Yeah, tennis shoes and boots. I recommend Chucks because they're versatile.
I actually do flip flops and cowboy boots,
Yeah, you're not going anywhere in Manhattan in flip flops.
but I can in cowboy boots.
Yep, that's true.
The flip flops are for like around the hotel or wherever I'm staying. I've stayed in a lot of places that you don't necessarily want to be barefoot in.
Yeah, if you stay in nicer places, they just give you slippers.
Right. Well, I don't.
It's like $8
But-
more.
but I
Like,
don't.
it's like $8 more.
Can you go there with a gun?
Of course.
I don't know, check.
They usually give you a gun there.
Check the policy for property. They're like, you're gonna need this. Just return it when you check out.
Welcome to our country. Here's your
Welcome to
gun.
our property. You're on the 3rd floor, so you'll want the sniper version.
And the grenade for good measure.
All right, I feel like we had some really good momentum, and you guys are losing steam because you're thinking about the war hippies and the show that we're.
Let's
doing.
go, fucking war hippies. Guys, if you don't know,
Yeah,
war
Shout
hippies.
out to the war hippies. We love those guys. Are going to be performing live in Aspen at the Sterling. Shut up, Sterling.
Tonight, hey guys, listen up. 100% of the booze sales, 100% of the ticket cost, 100% of everything is going to the Special Operations Relocation Fund or Transition Fund. Special Operations Transition Fund. This is for special operators Army, Navy, Air Force, doesn't matter if you work in special operations and you're transitioning out of the military back to civilian life, they're going to help you out. So check these guys out, give them your money, support the war hippies. They fucking rock. And that's all I got to say. Love you guys. Great night.
Love that. Hold on, we're gonna do some rapid fire things to wrap up. Love that plug though. All right, so general travel tips. We've talked about a lot of stuff.
Stainless
But
steel
like,
butt
let's
plugs.
distill this down to, you're gonna need to decide on your butt plug of choice.
Sure.
But plan ahead,
Plan ahead.
be flexible.
Mm-hmm.
Know that it's just a plan. The outcome, the experience will likely vary, and you need.
It's 100% going to change. Streamline your shit at the airport.
Yeah.
Just streamline your shit.
But download some apps that will make your life easier. So let's get some shout out to Flight Stats, by the way.
Okay.
If you're picking up a friend at the airport or you're trying to track like your connecting flight, like Flight Stats is like 1000%. Super helpful, way more like updated than the airline apps.
Mm-hmm.
You should also have your preferred airline app. So if you're flying United, download the app, work through there. It's way better. Hopper, if you're trying to buy a flight, if you're trying to figure out when's the right time to buy, that's a good one. xe.com, by the way, for exchange rates.
Etsy?
XE.
Oh, I thought you said Etsy, like
Yeah.
buying little trinkets.
xe.com.
Some shit a
For
housewife
exchange
made.
rates. And one thing I will say, like, you should always have money of the country that you're going into.
100% cash. Cash is king. Have paper.
Always have cash.
Always have paper.
Also, for the ladies, if you're traveling alone, you can call me because Jeff is gonna leave my number in the information list down there.
See the comments below.
Just in comments below. Also, do a quick background check. He's a registered offender.
I haven't offended anybody in this country yet.
Also, just yeah, for people who don't travel a lot, kayak.com is a great site aggregator. Shout out to those guys for being able to help you find cheap flights, hotels, cars, whatever. Foursquare for good eats when you're on the ground. Hotels.com.
Ooh, speaking of eats real quick, can I throw something in?
Yeah.
Try the local cuisine. Don't go to the chain bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
find a local barbecue
Oh.
place. Find a local.
That's what I said
noodle
earlier
shop.
about don't go to Starbucks, don't go to
Yeah.
McDonald's. Like,
Find a local thing. Like the whole reason you're fucking traveling, like enjoy it. Because
Also, if you go to McDonald's in Europe, you can get a beer over there. So
if you do check it out,
if you go to McDonald's in Europe, go kill yourself.
yes,
Like there's so much better shit to eat.
absolutely.
yeah.
Find local stuff. Find mom and pop joints. It's not that hard. Just turn over and ask somebody, where should I go? What's your favorite? And go there. Turn around. Turn next to
Don't turn over.
Don't turn over. I sleep with a lot of locals. I don't, I'm married. Love you, Jenna.
Oh, I wanted to talk about like where to stay, like whether you decide versus hotels, hostels, sleep under the stars.
I say just act like an American tourist. You'll eventually get kidnapped and you'll have a place to stay.
Well, even in America, have you ever gone to Vegas with no reservation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always be staying somewhere. It just depends.
I used to drive
What
up
the
from
mood
Den-
is
I used to
really.
drive up from Denver with like no intention of staying in Vail and being like, all right, it's 1:30 and I'm drunk. Like, how do I stay?
I'm honestly the worst at it. Like I will show up in another country with nowhere to stay and I'll just fuck around for a while and then
Yeah.
just go be like, hey, can I stay here?
Hostels are usually like great
They're-
find, to be
There's
honest.
like
Just use Google.
they like are not actually
If you're-
named. Like a hostile is rarely a hostile.
Is it a hostile?
Yeah, like a hostel is really hostile.
I think it's different though. Like
These
a
days,
6-foot male traveling is a lot
as a
different.
4-year-old.
right. As opposed to like a 20-year-old
Yes,
fucking 5'5" dumbass blonde chick
absolutely.
from the East Coast.
I never been kidnapped. So,
It's totally different.
It's totally different. Like I can literally go sleep on a park bench and no one's gonna see the boner in my sweatpants.
All right. Thank you to our guest Pavel for being here and
Thank you for
dropping
having
your
me.
expertise in the travel industry. Casey, thank you.
So far, so
Also,
I love your new glasses, Jeff. By the way, those are handsome.
I have to read.
All right, gang. Hey
Looks
guys.
like my geography teacher. She
I
was
know.
hot.
All right, stay sexy, Pavel. Listen, here's what you guys need to know: planes, trains, and automobiles, and John Candy is.
Take the train. Take the train. Take the train.
I say take the plane.
take the plane, of course.
All right.
I'm a
well,
stewardess.
So the people at the studio has spoken.
I say get on a boat or take a
Anyway,
train.
we love the Pat McAfee show. We're emulating the best in the business. So we're gonna close it out with
I'd like to thank our host, John Candy. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to be here tonight, but he was here in spirit.
and he's thinking about all of y'all.
Now I'd like to thank Lizzie for the studio assistance, production.
Heat
Yeah.
grip.
Yeah, and War Hippies, let's fucking go.
We're on our way to War Hippies. This will be not so timely when we publish it, but it's
Yeah, you guys are missing out if you're listening to
shout out to Scooter Brown and Donnie,
Rice, RIES,
collectively known as the War Hippies. They're effing amazing. We're gonna go see them live right now. This is what you're missing out if you're not Aspen. Porch sitting, because after the broadcast, we really live the Aspen visit live.
I can't wait.
Anyway, we love Pat McAfee. We're emulating those that are above us. We're gonna say, be a friend to a friend. Tell them something nice. You might save a life. Appreciate y'all being here. Thanks for listening.
Hey, Pat McAfee, Jeff's gonna want a date.
And, see ya.
Ooh.